I have something. I hope you remember this.
Can never
It was
forget.
a yeah, it was a review. You were presenting your project.
I was all happy. I was on the right path. I did all the research.
I don't want to work on a project which will change its direction. I don't want to get feedback. But yeah, these ambiguities, these uncertainties are what actually turned into stories.
Actually, going micro helped me come up with very distinct user stories that I
Right.
actually highlighted in my case study that made it stood out from the rest.
Absolutely. Purvi, a person who's a degree student, has actually become a product designer at Rapido with a really high paying job, that too as a fresher. So, for us to actually understand how this story can happen, we have Purvi over here.
This is a very impactful clip from a full podcast episode that I did with a student whom I personally mentored. I've cut it down so that you get the sharpest of insights and those which can really help you prepare in your UX journey. So stay subscribed and keep the motivation up.
Purvi, here I have something which I want to show to you. I hope you remember this. This is like an intense conversation we had. Do you remember?
Can never
It was
forget.
a yeah, it was a review in which you're presenting your project. I think this was one point where it was like a very good turning point realization about thinking about a user's journey. I think that was one thing, and there was another thing
Yes.
which I have put over here. I think this will you will really like this. She was very active in asking questions, and so this was a point where we were discussing about her project, and she has presented an approach. Purvi, do you remember this call?
Yeah, I clearly do remember the call. This
Yeah.
is from the mega project.
Yeah. So during her mega project, she was doing her capstone project and she was working on this shoppable live streams project. And during that, I think it was a mid review, middle of a project. She has presented a hypothesis and she has explored a bunch of screens and all that stuff. And I think that was something which I really remember where like this changes everything. What do you remember, Purvi, from that?
Yeah, like I was all happy that okay, I'm able to do it. I was on the right path. I did all the research, hypothesis, pen down everything, even started working on the UI for the screens because of course we had strict deadlines to follow.
Mhm.
And then I shared my work with you midway and you were like, all this is good, but you
Yeah.
need to tweak your thinking and think in this manner instead.
I think that
So
was
I
the
think
day
that
when
was really an eye-opening thing as to how we should approach any problem, how to narrow it down from a broader problem that we have in hand.
exactly. If you see at that part of the video, I'm going to be like, no, all this is fine, but let's go micro. Let's go micro.
Yeah.
So they were like really, if I remember, one was the focusing on journeys and really going and understanding about what is each behavior does a user really think about at this point of time. There is a chat over here. What is the user thinking about here? Like that one, and then going micro at every point. I think I
Yes.
just loved that discussion that day.
Yeah.
But I think who really knew that at that point people were like, I was like, hey, it's okay, do mistakes, it's absolutely fine, you have your approach, put it. And the good part is, if I'm going to question that, that means you have done well. If I'm questioning your approach and the whole approach is changing, that means everything you've actually done it very well, because that's exactly what a mature UX designer does. They really iterate from whatever they have done, right? And
And
that
just
day,
to add to that, actually going micro helped me come up with very distinct user stories that I was tackling,
correct,
and
correct,
it led me to working on very particular features that I
correct.
actually highlighted in my case study that made it stood out from the rest.
Absolutely. What I was trying to say is, at that point, people really did not realize the opportunity all this ambiguity had, right?
Exactly.
Like the whole churn of the project turning around, the whole feedback. People were like, no, I don't want to work on a project which will change this direction. I don't want to get feedback. But yeah, these ambiguities, these uncertainties are what actually turned into stories. And that is what these are the stories which actually Purvi told in her portfolio, spoke about in her interviews, and that really made a big impact, right? I think Purvi will talk about it as we go forward. Yes, Purvi. Firstly, so I think now people are like really curious. who is this Purvi? Why are they talking about her project? What is this Rapido? What is all this? I think now is the time. So Purvi, just
Yeah.
tell about yourself. I'm not like an interview. Tell me about yourself, but
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about who
So
you
I'll
are as a normal person, right? Forget UX and everything.
okay.
As a normal person, so the people can relate that, hey, ये तो, like she's also like me. Yeah, go
So
ahead, Purvi.
yeah, I'll explain it in short. But yeah, so myself, Purvi Kejriwal. I belong to Assam. Like everyone else, I was pursuing sociology in my graduation as the major subject. And since childhood, I was like extremely curious about everything related to creativity, be it painting or dancing and all of that. But then I also realized I really like solving things, not mathematically, but any problem that comes in day to day life also. I always try to think about it, find hacks to solve it, to make my life simpler, to organize things and all of that. Then I stumbled upon, and I wanted to do something in creative field. Sociology helped me with understanding how the society works. It helped me with research and all of that. But while doing my degree, it was the last year of my degree, and I wanted to have some plan that what's next. That's when I started researching about fields where I can combine my creativity, ideation, and all of that, and that also has some or some sort of problem solving attached to it. I stumbled upon UX as a field, and I thought, okay, maybe I can
We'll
give
get
this a
there.
try.
We'll get into
Okay.
UX. About you,
Okay.
about the normal you, because people just want to first relate.
Okay.
Yeah, ये job, like people who get jobs, are they अलग है क्या? I mean, they're like different, or like people like us only?
That's
So
I'm literally like each one of you is seeing this life. But I was at some point I had no clue what to do in life. I had no clue what type of fields even exist that I can pursue. I used to get questions asked by my family, by my parents, and of course the pressure of getting financially independent, seeing a lot of people around me hustling in their lives. So I've also been through all of that. So do not just see what I am today. I was at a similar point as you all.